What's up, guys? So, as a Krillin player, something that people ask me a lot about is what is the use of Solar Flare? So this is his quarter circle back plus key attack. It seems pretty unassuming. Its applications aren't immediately apparent. Really, you can't combo off it except like just into super. It doesn't do very much damage, so it's like, what's the point of this move? But it actually has a few really big applications. So the first reason why this move is good, number one, is because of its speed, its startup speed, and the amount of hit stun and block stun it does. So something important to note is that with Krillin, I'll make the dummy do this, most of your combo enders are not a tight block string, meaning the opponent can reflect in the middle of it, he can do like a raw level 3 or something like that. You know, there's a gap there, basically, which is a problem. You don't want them to be able to use that to get out of your setups. But with Solar Flare, that's not the case. It's a completely tight block string, so no matter what I do, you know, I can't interrupt this. You know, it's completely tight block string. So by using stuff like assist extensions, you can make them block for even longer. So like I'm just mashing reflect here, and I can't reflect at all. You can even go into mix-ups afterwards. Let's see if I timed that right. Mashing reflect. You can even go into like mix-ups afterwards. I believe that was a completely tight block string. So I'm just mashing reflect. Nothing I can do. I'm forced to take the guess there. So it's really good for that reason. It's really good for forcing the opponent to block, using that as an opportunity to call your assists, and then go in for mix-ups and that kind of thing. And the mix-up options you have here are pretty robust. Like, obviously, you can do like a throw, you can do the double overhead that I showed you, you can whiff his jumping light. It's kind of nice, this move whiffs over characters' heads, even pretty tall characters. It will go over their head, and then you can go low and hit them with the low. And they're going to block high, because they're like, oh, okay, he's air dashing at me. So they block high, and then they get hit by the low. So the mix-up options are really robust there. You can even do different stuff if you don't do the Solar Flare. You can do stuff like that. Go for cross-ups. The world is your oyster, basically. So like whenever I get a block string, and I have my Yamcha assist up, I go for mix-ups here. And you can do this with a lot of different assists too. It doesn't have to be Yamcha. It can be beams, whatever. So it's really good for that reason. It's really fast and it does a lot of block stun. The number 2 reason why this move is good is the hitbox. It's kind of deceptive. You might not be able to see it, but this thing reaches far. So it'll hit the opponent way back here, even if they are like jumping. Like, it hits them way out of the air. You can see, like, almost at the peak of his jump, he'll still get hit. And this is useful for a few reasons as well. A big one has to do with ground recovery. So a lot of times, like if you knock the opponent down, you know, you go for this, and they ground recover up. Here, let me turn off delayed stand. So you do like a little combo, and then they get off the ground up. Whatever follow-up you're trying to do is going to miss because they went into the air, right? So, like, I'm trying to hit them, but it's not working because they teched up. But with Solar Flare, you don't have to worry about it. This hitbox is so big that it's going to hit them even if they tech up. So if they stay on the ground, if they tech up, if they tech back, whatever, Solar Flare is going to catch them. And using your assists, you can really make this work out for you. So you can see there that comboed off of the Solar Flare, and I get a full combo off it. So I'll just set the dummy to do that to me real quick, and hopefully I can show you exactly how robust this is. So, something like that, right? So I'll have the dummy do it to me, and so now I'm just going to tech back. So you can see I'm pretty much forced to take it. Now I'm going to tech up. Once again, I'm forced to take it. Now I'm going to do delayed standing. And you can see the assist comes in and pretty much keeps the block string tight so that there's no real way out of it. you're forcing them to take a mix-up. And obviously, if they block the whole thing, which is kind of what you want them to do, if they block the whole thing, then you can go into any of those earlier mix-ups that I told you about. So it's really, really good. It's powerful. And hopefully this gives you some ideas if you're a Krillin player yourself, or if you're thinking about putting him on your team. By utilizing Solar Flare plus Assist, you can create some really crazy pressure. So with that, we're going to go into a game where I think I use Solar Flare plus Assist pretty effectively. So I hope you enjoy the clip, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. So with that being said, we're going to go to a clip from my stream where I use Solar Flare, I believe, pretty effectively, and you can see some of the potential of Solar Flare plus Assist. So enjoy the clip, guys. Base Goku getting a Kaioken install, that would be really cool. And this game, because of the whole thing where you can't Z-change into, like, secondary supers, like any character with 2 level 1s, you can only Z-change into one of their level 1s. So they can use that to avoid the issue of Z-changing into an install. That's always like ridiculously broken. Any character, or any game where it's possible to DHC into an install super, that becomes like the most broken thing in the game. For example, Marvel 3. So they don't let... In most games, you're not allowed to do it, but Marvel 3, they forgot. Marvel 3, they were like, forget it. You can DHC into whatever super you want, even if it's an install super. So you can always make yourself safe by just going into a super and doing an install. Or you can do like random super, check if it hits, and then if it doesn't hit, DHC into an install. It's stupid. But Dragon Ball FighterZ, they're smart. They knew better than to allow that. So I would be happy to see more install supers. I think that would be great. Ooh, we got a host. Sightlier83, thanks a lot for the host, man. I don't necessarily think that Kaioken should make him lose health afterwards, but if it's something where like he has like a cooldown, kind of like how Frieza falls down, like Frieza falls down at the end of Golden Frieza, if they gave him something like that to show that like it took a lot out of him. What fighting game would I say has the best mechanics? That's pretty hard to say. I think like the most balanced, like I think probably the most well thought out and balanced modern fighting game is Tekken 7. Almost every single aspect of Tekken 7 is like perfectly thought out because they spent like 2 years, maybe more, like 3 years of the game only being out in arcades and using that as like the playtesting period. So they had 3 years of top players taking the game apart, and then they based all their balance changes on that. So they really took their time with that game, and it shows. But in terms of all games, not just modern games, I think probably Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Obviously, that game has a lot of bugs, but a lot of people think that Marvel 2 is only good by accident, which I very strongly disagree with. If you watch the progression of the Marvel games, from X-Men vs. Street Fighter, or even like Children of the Atom, to like Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, if you track the progression of those games' mechanics, they just get better and better and better, and like more like tight. They get rid of all the issues, and then by Marvel 2, they had like fixed everything. They'd made it like the perfect game. The mechanics are so well thought out, and like every single detail of that game just serves to make it more fun. So I think Marvel 2 is like extremely well made. Also Third Strike, similarly. I feel similar things about Third Strike. Like it's just such a perfect logical progression of the first two series, the first two games in the Street Fighter 3 series. They like improved the game perfectly and made like the best game they could. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you didn't mind my little rant there at the end, but I thought some of you might find my thoughts interesting. So If you want to see more Krillin action, make sure to check out the first of 5 match I had against Dato Doya. Really, really good Krillin player. We had a little battle of the Krillin mains. Or maybe if you want to see more Street Fighter action, you could check out my Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Impressions video. But either way, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.